Hey everyone, this is Grey Wizard Gaming. I'm Richard, and today I wanted to talk about how to fail your first Kickstarter. So my friend Sean is about to do his Kickstarter, and he asked me to help because I have equipment and I have, I don't know, I've probably invested $10,000 in Kickstarter projects over the past 5-6 years. So I buy a lot of Kickstarters, but I pass on a lot of Kickstarters. And so I want to put together just some things not to do unless you're trying to fail your Kickstarter. So with that in mind, number one, failing to plan every day of your Kickstarter, right? You choose 30 days, 60 days, whatever you choose. If you fail to plan every single day, the whole thing, before you do it, and preferably months before, you're probably gonna fail. You will not have time to do a good job. You're gonna have ideas you can't execute on, and you're gonna regret. And then ultimately, you're either gonna fail or you're gonna get less money than what you were hoping for. The second thing that you should do if you want to fail your Kickstarter is to not market your game. So I just feel like so many of my very smart, very creative friends who create things, they often tell me, I thought I was going to be more successful. Or, hey, I've been doing this for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. I thought we were going to be bigger by now. And it's funny because often the same people in the beginning are like, I'm in it for the long haul. Are you really though? The problem is that it is fun to create things. It's fun. It's fun to do photography. It's fun to do video. It's fun to design board games. It's not so much fun for some people to shout to the world, hey, look at me. I made something cool. You might like it. I know 10 years ago, if you told me that I would do as much social media stuff as I do now, I'd probably be like, that doesn't sound fun. That doesn't sound like what I would want to do. But you know what's even more unfun is watching that counter stay at 0. That's even more unfun. Getting 50% funded through your Kickstarter and having to, fail to get any of that money, any of them. Kickstarter is all or nothing. So if you don't hit your goal, boom, it's gone. So you need to do marketing. Like if I look at, so I'm looking at Sandy Peterson, and now I've backed many of his things. I think, and maybe Sandy will comment in the comments below, but I think he gets his success by having cultivated a email list of motivated people who like his games and are likely customers of his games. That's my thought, because you can look at Peterson Games, you can click on their social media, you can then go to their Facebook, and I mean, they have a very respectable 14,000 people who like their page, okay? Their Twitter, it's 2,500 followers, so not that many, to be honest. I think my personal one has maybe half that, and I know I don't have that much reach. So you look at their Instagram, and 2,000 followers. I actually have more followers, I think, on, I don't know, maybe the same on my Instagram. Again, I don't have a lot of reach, so I know that that's not a lot. So I really think, surprisingly, that the collection of emails for a newsletter, at conventions, just constantly just collecting people's emails so that when you have a Kickstarter that is going to come out, you send it out. Don't spam people. Send people what they want to know about. You have to market your game, and that can take many, many different approaches. Maybe you have a real physical community in your city, a board game store or something that you have reliable supporters, and maybe they have social media, whatever it is, market. I will say that I have kickstarted probably half of my games off of ads on Board Game Geek. So I think Board Game Geek is a big source of promoting. And actually, I think that this channel itself, it got its big push because of a lot of people coming over here from Board Game Geek. If you want to fail your Kickstarter, be greedy. Set your price too high. You know that you're worth the stars. You have a game that's made out of cardboard but should be priced as if it's gold. Being greedy is a good way to get me to pass by a Kickstarter. So Sandy Peterson is awesome. I back a lot of his stuff. I've bought, I don't know, almost, I think around $2,000 worth of Peterson Games stuff. I didn't back his kids' Cthulhu board game. Why? It's not for me. And so I didn't back it. People typically don't back for friendship or whatever. I mean, your family might, your close friends might. And because of that, you've got to make a value proposition that tells people that this game is worth it to them and it's worth the price tag. And that means you have to do some research. You have to look at other games. I'm looking at Demon Sultan, which I backed, and I initially backed it for $59. So Cthulhu Wars is an expensive game. I don't know, $160 MSRP or something like that for the core game. An expansion at the $59 mark makes sense to me. These minis are big, they're expensive, I know that. But there's another miniature heavy campaign game out there, and they're super expensive. I never backed it. It's like a niche game. Cthulhu Wars, like this much Cthulhu Wars stuff might be a niche game. Like it might not be mainstream because of how many things there are and how much they're priced at. But I think $59, actually I think all of the Peterson game stuff is very reasonably priced. He is not creating like a Starbucks experience of he's gonna try to charge double what normal games of the similar weight and caliber are. No, these are very reasonable. So it's not a love letter to Sandy Peterson. I mean, I'm sorry. I love you, Sandy. I mean, no. But it's just that the prices are fair, not too low. He's not cheating himself, and it's not ridiculously high. Okay. Ignoring other Kickstarters. Okay. So if you do not look at other Kickstarters like yours, then you're probably gonna fail. So like when I look at, say, Demon Sultan, just because I have it up, they did 40 updates. 40. They did 40 updates. They are very chatty. And what does that do? That, number one, it keeps people who bought in early engaged. Number two, it reminds them, hey, don't back out. We're here, we're doing stuff. Because trust me, many people, myself included, will back early because I don't want to I don't want to miss out on it. But then I think about it. I make that decision in the beginning. I'm like, you know what? I'm not committed, but I'll back it in the day one, and I have 30 days to decide, is this worth my paycheck? And if it's not, I'm out. I'm out. So the updates help convince me that they are for real. They've got their manufacturing under control. They've got their beta testing under control. They've got their shipping under control. People have actually played this game and liked it. All this stuff. And that's what you learn by studying other people's Kickstarters. The next way to fail your game is to think that the components of your game will sell your game. So I I think a lot of game designers will often think that their amazing set of rules will sell their game. It won't. Um, a lot of people think that the amazing art on their cards will sell their game. It probably won't. So I really like this video. It's a video by Simon Sinek. He says, start with why. And I'll have a link in the show notes. It basically says, he says that people don't buy things because of the stats, the CPU processor power, the components, whatever, they don't buy things because of what it is. They buy things because of how those things make you feel, what they do for you, what they say about you as a backer, as a purchaser. So my friend, like he has a game. It's a Master Dragons, and he might describe it as, yeah, it's got 8 dragons and it's got this board that's always different, and so there's a lot of replayability, and that's like a failure way of describing the game. A better way to describe the game is, I have this game that lets each person feel like a dragon, breathing fire on their enemies and building up a horde, and whoever has the largest horde at the end of the game wins. And that tells people who want to buy the game that if they want to feel like a dragon, if they want to compete with other dragons, dragon combat, acquiring treasure, all that stuff, that is what's going to make you want to buy the game. Because I want to feel like a dragon. If I didn't even if I didn't already own the game, I'd be interested in owning the game. So that is what you want. You want your Kickstarter to make people feel a certain way. So that's big. I mean, that's core running any business, selling any product. How do you make people feel? And if people feel good in how they feel as being a part of the community who purchases your product or purchases your service, if they're proud to tell people, yeah, I love that maid service, like they do this, they're amazing. Everyone wants to feel like they have the best. You don't want to be like, yeah, I bought this board game. It had really cool art. The rules, super notch. What is it about? I don't really know. Because it just didn't make sense to me. It doesn't appeal to my sense of self. I don't know. I think designers, at least the people who talk to me, they often, when I ask them about their game, they're like, yeah, it's going to be, these set of rules. I don't buy game for rules. I really don't. Bad rules will sink the ship. Bad components will sink the ship. Good anything won't matter if I don't buy the game. It won't matter if I don't want to click the link. All that stuff is advertising, all that stuff is marketing. You want to push that to the very top of your Kickstarter, and you really want to convince people. There's intro videos where there is no game in the intro video. And there's other intro videos where it's all game. And I will tell you that I have backed more games that had a cinematic and maybe a narrator talking about the game, talking about the world of the game, not the rules of the game. Oh yeah, I've created the best rules in the world for a board game. That's fine, I don't care. I'm not gonna back it. Oh hey, this game is about the last few moments of your life. And while you play, you're going to try to figure out the mystery of how this came to happen to you. what the heck? I'm backing this game. I still don't know what that game is about, really, but it is a crazy game. And when it was hard, I pushed through because I wanted to know more about that game. And that's how I describe it to people. I say, hey, let's play this game. This game is about the last few moments of your life on a dying world. Everybody wants to know more. So that's where I don't describe, yeah, it's got this many cards. Yeah, it's got this clever rule mechanic. Yeah, it's got this many expansions. I don't tell people that because that won't make them want to play. That describes half the games here. So, yeah. That's kind of it. What makes you decide to back or not back a game? What kind of advice can you give my friend Sean? He's going to be launching soon. He wants to time it with a convention, all this stuff. He's going to be doing it as right as he can. But it is going to be his first Kickstarter. There's going to be challenges. We're trying to, I guess, add in padding so that, we don't make any mistakes. We definitely don't want to, he doesn't want to have to get a second mortgage on his house or something to pay for shipping because, that happened. That kind of stuff. With that, appreciate all of you. Click like, click subscribe, and see you in the next video.
Turn around, I can't see your face. Tell me, where did you go?
Hey everyone, I'm Richard. This is great.
That made it all fall down. Baby, I need to know, 'cause I'm losing my faith. And the more I give, the less I get.